you're never going to have to use another filter plugin ever again. I bought out the filter builder about a month ago, and it was because a lot of people were using premium solutions, or they were using some taxonomy filter widget inside of their page builder or any other aspect of WordPress, and it wasn't ticking all of the boxes, or they found it was limited in what they could show or how they could use it. So I bought out the filter builder, and you can use it for free. It's a code snippet. Go and install it. The link is in the video description. But what you're now going to find when you click the link is version 2. This is enhanced, improved, and massively upgraded. And by the way, I'm Imran from Web Squadron. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and follow. Make sure you sign up and join up for our YouTube channel, because we've got exclusive videos coming out where I'll be going through the filter builder step by step, and you don't want to miss out on those courses. So here we go. We got an example shop, and I'm already on the actual shop page. This is using Elementor product archive template. You can see my products. You can see the loop grid. And by the way, this filter builder will work with your normal post, your WooCommerce products, and even custom post types too. On the left-hand side, we've got a sidebar where I've gone and put in my filters that are coming directly from the filter builder. I can sort my items any way I want. I might want to go low to high in terms of pricing, or maybe sort them alphabetically. I may want to select headphones as my category. Now take a note of what you can see on the left-hand side. We've got sort by product category, brands, price range, stock status, is it in stock or is it out of stock, and you can reset the filters. But take a note, product category, and then we jump to brands. Watch what happens when I click headphones. We can now see the headphones, but we've also got subcategory appear, wired headphones and wireless, and I might want to go and click wireless and it filters down again. And we've also got a color picker as well. I'm going to show you how with the filter builder, you can actually decide on what filters become visible depending on what category page you're on. And when I say category page, I'm using the same product archive template throughout. This is just one template. And at any time, I can reset individually, or I could go and hit reset filters and reset them all in one go. And that's not all. You may want to filter on a particular brand. You may want to filter on a price range. You can either use the slider or enter in your values. And once again, let me show you. If I go and click lens, I now get the subcategory and I get lens type, so CPL filter. The color one only appeared for the headphones because I said I only want to see it on the headphones, because I've actually got a color attribute for the headphones. All of this is free within a code snippet. So if you are using premium third-party solutions where you're paying an annual fee or whatever you're using, and you just wished it was a little bit more simpler in terms of how to build and use for your shop, then this is the solution for you. But there is even more you can do. I'm now going to minimize my screen to become a mobile. So here's my shop on a mobile-sized screen. Now, I don't have the filters at the top because I've used an off-canvas widget. So they're all sat inside of there, and this works with that. There's an extra little bit of code, and I'm going to show you all of that. I'm going to click this icon and my filter's open. Now watch this, right? I'm going to click headphones, and the filter reopens. And the reason why is because what you don't want is for the off canvas to close, because technically the page is refreshing with the other IDs and things coming through, you know, product category equals headphones. You don't want to then have to reopen the filter because now I want to go for wireless, and then reopen again to select a color or a brand. This will reopen, and it will keep reopening until you hit the close button. And when you return to the shop, it won't reopen, but each time you use a filter inside of the off-canvas widget, that's going to keep reopening for you. So it makes it so much more efficient. Let's now go into the back end to see how to build with the filter builder. You're going to need this code snippet, filter builder version 2. Link is in the video description. Just download the JSON file I got. What you then want to do is go over to the code snippets plugin that you can get for free from the WordPress repository. Go and click import and then import that file. And then once it's imported, go and save and activate. When you refresh your browser, you should see filters now pop up. You go into there and you are now looking at the filter builder version 2. And if you saw version 1, this has been massively enhanced. If I scroll down for a moment, you're going to see all of the filters I've already built. And you're probably wondering, what is this red bar? These are exclusions. So I've got a filter for price range, brands, product category, subcategory, lens type, stock status, and color. So here's how you would build a filter. Let's say you were going to do one for category, go and give it a name. And then this is really important. You must give it a unique URL key. if you give it the same URL key, say you got subcategory and product category, and you just call them cat, you're going to get a bit of conflict. Make sure you give them a unique key. I'm just going to call it product-cat. And then you go and select your field source. Now, if it is a category, whether it's a post or a product, you would pick category. If it's a tag, if it's an attribute, so you've gone and done one for sizes or colors, you go and pick product attribute. Brand, well, you get that in WooCommerce as well. Or if it's a custom field, this is how wonderful this is. This is going to detect what you've built already inside of WordPress. And if it's a price range, you got to go for price. But let's say we just go for category. Then make sure you're on the correct post type. This is important. So if you've got a custom post type, the name will appear over here. And here's the really clever bit now, because now I want to ensure I pick up the correct slug. If I go and hit detect, look, it will now detect what's visible or what's available for me. And I'm now going to select category, and it will populate it now with product_cat. So it will now pick it up. Just like if you had color, it would pick up PA_color. A lot of you might not even realize that your product attribute added PA as the slug. Then you want to go and select your type and play around with this. Select box, which is going to be a drop down, select pills. So you're going to get your pills, which you will be familiar from other taxonomy widgets, but you can only pick one at a time. Multi-select will be the pills, but you can pick as many as you want. Checkbox, well, it's just a checkbox. And price range you only use when you are selecting your field source to be the price range. And you are reminded of that at the top over here as well. Now here's the really clever bit. What if when you present your filter, because let's say you've got parent category and child category or subcategory, but when you show the filter, you only want to show the parent, but you don't want to show the children. Or maybe you want to show the children, but you don't want to show the parent. Now, when I say hide, you're not excluding them from the loop grid. You would do that inside of your loop grid, however you were going to build out your loop grid. But what you're hiding is what is visible as a filter. So I could still pick a parent and I'll still see all the children in the loop grid, but I'm just reducing how big my filter appears on screen. I know I keep saying how clever this is, but watch this, right? I'm going to go over and click detect. And it now detects all of my categories for my product. So I can now see my parent and my children. Parent, children, children, parent, child, child. It has it in order for you. So I may decide that I don't want to show this one, so I'm going to add it. And I may then say, actually, I don't want to see the parent as well. I can hide it. And I can add as many as I want. And I can clear them out as well, or just delete them once they're added in, for instance. Over here, just delete them like that. It's that easy and intuitive to use. And then once you've done all of that, go and decide, is it going to be horizontal and it does wrap, or is it going to be vertical on the desktop or the mobile? Are you going to show the reset icon per filter? Are you going to show the label? You pick and choose. And then you go and click create new filter. And each time you do that, it will then add it to the bottom. But what if you want to modify it later on? Let me bring back the one I already did, the one I'm showing where I purposefully hid the children. And in fact, the subcategory was exactly the same. I copied it, and let me show you what I did. I went over here and I clicked edit, and it re-adds everything back into the top. And then what I did was I renamed it, cleared this out, added in my parent categories I wanted to hide, and then I created a brand new filter because I gave it a new name. But at any time, I could have gone into this one, I don't want to hide wired headphones, and I remove it from here, or I do hide it. And then I click update filter. So you can either update or create a new filter. There's so much versatility here for you because maybe you suddenly realize I was horizontal for the desktop, but now I want to go with vertical. Pick and choose for what works for you and your shop or your WordPress posts or wherever you're using it. Let me just show you the stock status one because this is really cool as well. If I go and click edit, and by the way, you know, I did this for my category, my subcategory, my brand, my price range, and I picked my items. Stock status, where did that come from? It's a custom field. And you're going to go, is it a custom field? So I now have to create a custom field? No. It's a custom field that you automatically get within WooCommerce. Let me go back a step. I have a custom field called lens type. Let me go and edit it. So I created it using advanced custom fields and I added it to my product. So when I wanted to create a filter for it, I gave it a name, I gave it a key, I selected custom field and I made sure I was pulling it from product. And when I went to detect, look at what it pulled out. There's my lens type. There's my field for me to use. But not only that, technically, a lot of custom fields already exist inside of WooCommerce. Look at all of the items you have here. And that's exactly what I did when I went over to stock status. I went and picked custom field, and I went here and I went and selected stock status. And if you're very unsure, well, what will that actually give me? Once you've picked it, go and click detect, and it now shows me in stock and out of stock. And if at any time you don't like the way it's presented back to you, because this is coming straight from WooCommerce's custom fields and how they automatically create it for you based on what you do with your products, you can go to ChatGPT and say, right, give me some custom CSS, not JavaScript, not a code snippet, just give me custom CSS that allows me to rename this. So in stock is available and out of stock is out of stock with spaces in between the words. Now let me go on to my really favorite one, the color one. Let's go over here. So I gave it a name, I gave it a URL key. The field source is product attribute. So I created an attribute for color. And then when I went over to detect, it pulled out and showed me that color was there. But here's the really clever bit. How was I able to show the colored dots? Well, my code snippet for the filter builder now adds a color picker into any attribute where you've used the words color or color with a UR at the end. And by the way, if I just go to detect, you can see all of my colors coming through as well. This is how brilliant this is. If I go over to products and attributes, and there's my color attribute, I'm going to configure the term. And when I configure the term, can you see over here? We've got a color picker. I can go and enter in my hex code or whatever I want. If I go over to say this pink one and I edit it, I've got a color picker. And when the filter builds itself out, it will pull through that color. So when you're adding in your colors, go and pick the relevant color you want to add. Back to the filter builder, each time you build anything out, you're going to get a shortcode. Remember, you can delete it, you can duplicate it, you can edit it, but that's the shortcode. And what you do is you copy each one. But before we go and copy them, well, I've already got it built out, so I'll show you how it's built out. You also have 2 default filters as well for sort by, and that has all of the A to Z, low to high, newest, and default settings built into there. And then you have the reset filters one. Again, even though you may have reset icon enabled, the reset filters, well, you can put it where you want. And that's the beauty about the way this is built. So if you want to have your reset filter in your bottom right of your page or your shop or floating somewhere, you can do that. Now I'm going to jump over to my templates. And by the way, this shop I'm showing you is part of the Elementor course with the WooCommerce expansion. Depending on when you're watching this, that is coming out on January the 12th, 2026. So we're going to be building out this entire shop and everything piece by piece, step by step, okay? But I'm now going to go into my products archive template. And what I have over here inside of this container is just basically lots of shortcodes. I click into here, there's the sort by shortcode, there's the shortcode for my product category, there's the one for the brand. Now, I know over here, so this is my product one, and you can see it in my structure below. This is my subcategory one, but you can't see it at the moment. Why? Because I've added in a bit of code which hides it until the category is either headphone, lens, camera, or microphone. And I did the same for my lens type filter as well. So where you had ND filter, CPL filter, polarizing filter, you can hide out filters so they don't appear until you've actually gone to a category page. And this is how easy it is. I'm going to go to this one over here, which is the subcategory. Go to the advanced tab, go to custom CSS, hide this filter, WS only categories. In fact, I should point out, this has got a class name. I only give class names to the ones where I know I'm going to be hiding them out. And I've said hide it, but don't show it until the cat or the taxonomy for the product cat is either headphones, lens, camera, microphone. So don't show me the subcategory field because that contains all the children until we've definitely gone through to a category page or the category part of the product archive template. And if I go to the lens type one, this had WS only camera lens as the name. And the CSS is very similar, but this time it is specifically only for the lens. Okay, so look, the camera lens, it's hidden. But when we have definitely gone through and that term is now coming through, now show it. And if you follow the logic of what I've done here, you can apply this to your shops as well. But don't forget, you can apply this to your normal WordPress post in a loop grid. It doesn't have to be a shop, custom post type as well. This is not limited to just products. So that's how the filters were built. Now, do you have to do anything special to your loop grid? Unfortunately, you do. All you've got to do is make sure you have set it to be posts because One of the problems with the Elementor loop grid at the moment is that if you go and select products over here and you go to query, you won't have the query ID. What you need to do is set your template type to be posts. So don't pick products, pick posts. Then go to query. And now here, you can pick basically what you want. I mean, I would say go for current query. If you are going to have like filters that pass through, so over here, you may like click on a brand and it goes to a brand page, or you may have a link somewhere that goes to the headphone category page, then you want to go for current query if you're just going to have one product archive template without multiple templates. If, however, you're not going to do that, just go and click products, but current query works quite well. But the important bit is the query ID. You must add in WS_WC_filters. If you want to change that, go and find every instance of that in the code snippet and go and modify it. But keep it simple, WS_WC_filters. Now, the last thing I want to point out is the off canvas. How did I make that work? So basically, I had an off canvas widget. Inside of there, you got a container. And all I did was copy my sidebar back over. So here's all of my filters again. I also added in an icon whereby this would go and close this particular off canvas. I also had an icon over here, which is only visible on the mobile responsively. And this one, I went and set it so that it opens that particular off canvas. You must have an open icon and you must have a close icon. I'm not too bothered what you name it, but just make sure you follow those steps. And by the way, if you are following the WooCommerce expansion of the Elementor course, I go through this step by step. I'm not going to go through this step by step because it means I'll be spending a lot more time going into detail, and I feel like I've already made this video longer than it probably needs to be. But if you really want to follow it step by step, you got to go and sign up for the Elementor website course. Go to the YouTube channel. It's $4.99 a month. You might join for 1 month and then stop paying for it. That's entirely up to you. If you have any trouble signing up to YouTube membership, there's a link in the video description. You can go and get the course for $35 as well as a one-off fee. And every time I expand or add anything else to the course, it will work for you. Now, back to the off canvas, there is an extra little bit of code you do have to add. If I go over to Elementor and I go to custom code, you need to add in this little bit. And what this does is enable the off canvas to keep reopening, because once you click a filter and it refreshes the page, it instantly reopens it. So it saves you having to click the icon again to open the off canvas, and it doesn't permanently close until you have actively gone and hit the close icon. And all you've got to do with this code, again, there will be a link for this in the video description. All you have to do is go and pop in your off canvas ID. Where'd you get your off-canvas ID from? Preview your site as a mobile or however you're doing it, and then go and open up your off-canvas. Then you want to right-click and inspect, and you'll find the off-canvas ID. In my case, it was 881889E. Then just go and make sure you stick that ID in there and go and update the code. The reason I put this in Elementor custom code and not a code snippet is because it's relevant for Elementor. Now, if you're going to use this with any other page builder, go and take the code. I mean, it's a code snippet, right? Go and import it into ChatGPT. Go and take this. Go and tell it to refine it to work for your particular page builder. I can't do everything for you. I mean, I went and spent a lot of time and hours building this out and stress testing it to death, and it works goddamn perfectly. But if you want to take it further, it's open source code. Please don't sell this code. Please don't package it up as something that you're going to pass on to people at a cost, because I want this to be free for people to use to save them using premium third-party plugins. The final thing I want to say about it is, how do you style all of this out to fit your brand? Well, if I go to this particular container, and by the way, I only did it here. I didn't duplicate this code in the off canvas because you don't need to. You want to keep it in one place. If I go over to the Advanced tab and I scroll down, there is a chunky amount of custom CSS. You only need to worry about everything that sits from part 1 all the way down until you get to the start of part 2. You don't need to touch part 2, but this is going to allow you to modify the pills, the button, the checkboxes, the font text. You want to add in clamp, the hover colors, sorting, your reset button, your reset icon, your price range, the line you got there, everything, even your color swatches, so how big they look in terms of the circles. I've got them set at 15 pixel. You can even use some of the code down here to hide the dot and only show the label. So you may just want to show blue without the blue dot, Or maybe you just want to show the blue circle and not the label. Or maybe you want to show both. You can use this. And if there's anything in here that you're a little bit uncertain of, I've just told you what you do. You import the code snippet into ChatGPT. You don't copy paste it. It's about 4,000 rows. You go and import it. And then you copy and paste this CSS in and you kind of go, can you just explain this bit? Or can you just clarify what do I do if I want to change this color? But my recommendation is add in all of your shortcodes because this is what it will look like and it looks pretty damn ugly at the moment. Then go and add in the custom CSS and you'll see everything just change before your very eyes. And then you kind of get a good idea of what you want to change. Am I a little bit overly excited about what we've built here with the Filter Builder version 2? This will and should replace a lot of premium solutions out there, or maybe some other plugin filters. And at the end of the day, I'm a one-man band trying to make a difference in the world for you, freelancers, agencies, and anyone that's using WordPress. I'm still Imran Siddiq from Web Squadron. Like, subscribe, share, and follow. Sign up for our YouTube channel for exclusive videos available to channel members, especially the Elementor course. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.